You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, listen up. US Cellular wants to help everyone get the gift of connection this holiday season. Already a customer? This applies to you too, because right now, new and current customers can get any phone, and I mean any phone, for free. Yes, free. Sounds like it's time to make the switch. Spread the holiday cheer far and wide this season with a new phone. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
I have to admit it, I am sad to admit it, but when I just saw the fried turkey emerge from its broiler, it looked really good.
Delightful,
It looked the
yes.
correct color of brown. Greg Cody might be victorious here. Look at him, how happy he is in the parking garage, working hard near the flames. He is stirring the oil.
We haven't checked in much with Roy. I mean,
Yeah, Roy, we'll check in with him in a week, see if he's finished and if he's had enough time. You know, he's taking his time. But before we do any of that, Pablo Torre joins us from New York, and I want to get his expert opinion here on some sound produced by Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. He seems a little bit loopy. He says a lot of funny things that are unintentionally funny, and here he is being asked a question about describing New York in one word.
Mr. Mayor, we've come to the end of what was a very eventful 2023, right? So when you look at the totality of the year, if you had to describe it, and it's tough to do, in one word, what would that word be, and tell me why?
New York. This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe.
An amazingly terrible answer.
you do wake up. I mean,
Some of us do, yes. And
He was asked for one word, just for the record there, and he started with New York and then proceeded to say about 35 more words.
well, I didn't think it could get any worse
Most
after
of
he was
which-
asked for a word, gave two, and then the first thing he says, you can wake up any morning. And this is one of the things that makes the city incredible. 9/11's happened.
Yep. I'm in this place, Dan, where I have to check how funny I find all of these politicians. Because I know there is this larger argument that I should not find Eric Adams hilarious because he does real things that affect real people with real policies. And yet I just laugh at that. I think to myself, this is part of, in a weird way, Eric Adams' real answer is New York's a great city because New York has mayors like me, a total maniac, who you New Yorkers somehow tolerate and find a way to laugh at, despite the fact that I materially make your life worse.
Is he popular? How is he viewed in the city?
No, I wouldn't say he's popular. I would say I like that I'm now local. I'm like a man on the street now. Eric Adams, he's got problems, but he makes me feel safer. I think that's what people in New York would say. Like, he's a cop. He's there to increase security. He seems to do that. But in reality, all of that seems to be smoke and mirrors. And he's an insane person. He's an insane person who was trailed by a series of insane lies that are George Santosian. In a way. He claimed to live in New York, but really was living in New Jersey. He brought like the local news to a weird tour of his home, which clearly was like set up for like a sad TV shoot. He claims to be a vegan or a vegetarian, but clearly eats meat. He's at nightclubs all the time at like 2:30 a.m. And when he's asked about it, he's like, the city needs to see their mayor. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good answer. I mean, insofar as you can have an answer for why you're totally irresponsible. And then there's but like those serious stuff that he messes up routinely. So no, not popular, but definitely an insane person.
I keep saying some form of we get the leadership that we deserve. Can you explain to me what it is that you want from leadership? Because at bare minimum, I want the people who are leading us with maximum power to be smarter than I am or smarter than the average person.
Yeah, the real trick of who I want to be a political leader right now is that I want someone who is not deeply thirsty to be a political leader right now. Like the guy that I want to be president of the United States, Stan, which will be no surprise to anybody who I think has heard me talk about him, is Domonique Foxworth. I want Domonique Foxworth to be president or at least senator because he doesn't want to do it. He's overqualified. He actually has principles, and he's concerned about whether this is even a thing that he would enjoy. And those are the qualities I want for the guy who is supposed to, take the lives of millions into his hands.
So no wild political ambition. You distrust anyone in this climate who has wild political ambition.
It's the catch-22, right? I literally, again, as I belabor this point, I went to college with Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe I broke the news while filling in for you on your show, some of the things that he would do. And that is the person who, in all of his attention seeking and all of his hunger and thirst to just be that guy, that's the opposite of what I want to select for. And right now in politics, you're seeing the melding of the fragmented media economy with the political system, and you're seeing people who are really good at gaming traffic get traction as a politician. And I want the person who is hesitant to be in public at this point, to want to be a politician, which is why it's incumbent upon people that I know, my friends, for me to bully them into, hey, can you save the republic maybe? Can you do a miserable job that actually should feel miserable if you have principles, because it's hard and it should be unglamorous and it does involve real consequences for people. Or you could do this. And
Pablo Torre Finds Out was voted by the Big Lead the best sports podcast that there is, but God Bless Football and Nothing Personal.
Yeah.
Billy, what do you want to tell people about how they are coming to rival Pablo Torre Finds Out, because he was not nominated as opposed to Nothing Personal and God Bless Football for what?
Well, I don't think that we're rivaling Pablo Torre.
We're not competing.
Thank
with
you.
him. Yes, we're not figuring anything out.
We've won twice already. Pablo's won once, so Pablo's trying to catch up to us. We were nominated for a third time for Sports Podcast Awards for Best American Football Podcast, and David Sampson's Nothing Personal with David Sampson was nominated for Best Baseball Podcast and Best Sports Business Podcast. So this is a fan voting thing. So you can go and you can vote, and then maybe a couple more trophies, and then maybe there'll be a newsletter about us one day within the company, but probably not.
Where can they vote?
Just a mention.
Where's the voting?
I'll put out a link because it's a Sports Podcast Awards. You can Google that, but we'll put out a link. You can go vote.
Was I not nominated for that?
No, you weren't.
Is that what I'm learning now?
No.
For the
This
first
is
time?
fan vote. We don't care about what the experts. I don't care what they have to say about my podcast or Billy's podcast. I care about what the fans have to say.
You actually have to submit the podcast, and then it goes through to the fan voting phase. So there's a selection process. These are the awards that got through to the fans to decide the winner.
Can I award Greg Cody the award for a person who looks most like a Grand Theft Auto 6 NPC that I've ever seen?
He does.
I don't know, Dan, if you've done a good enough job explaining for the listeners what he looks like, because beyond the barefootedness, beyond the fact he has this giant apron and a t-shirt and this, he's literally in an abandoned garage. But the thing I am focused on the most is his hat. What's the deal with that? Greg just showed up with
Tim
the hat
Valor,
today?
Cincinnati Lou. He gave an acceptance speech before on the hat. I didn't get
He said it's his cooking hat.
I didn't
That's what it is.
No, it's Team Valor is Comley, his horse. That's their team.
Yeah, but he said he likes to wear it when he cooks, when he fries a bird. That's what he told me.
And Christopher said that he looks cool. His father looks cool for the first time. But Pablo, you are right. He looks like a cliched sort of stereotypical street merchant in a video game who you just drive by as an extra who's standing outside of a delicatessen looking to commit a crime.
Yes, he's yelling things indecipherably and removing the turkey from the brine. And it looks actually shockingly good, to your point. I agree.
When going up there to cover this, I saw that this floor is under construction, so it looks like he snuck into this floor and should not even be there. There shouldn't be humans on this floor doing this.
He looks like a Morlock, like a mole person.
He also has the quality and skin color of someone who's embalmed.
Can we show his feet? It's the feet that really make it.
All right, let's go down, please. And he's still barefooted? Foot. Let's, John Reed, if you can make yourself useful there. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I've touched those feet.
We encourage you, youtube.com/@LeBatard Show.
Yeah!
Is where it is that you find
He
our
got it!
YouTube offerings. Pablo Torre Finds Out is it's gotten very popular as a podcast. The quality is very good. Before we get to what it is you're doing on the next Pablo Torre Finds Out, what commentary do you have on what we were discussing about John Oliver and Elon Musk?
Oh, yeah. It's that anybody who says the word woke unironically and has since like maybe 2020 is scamming you on the internet. Like nobody who intends the word sincerely is saying it anymore because it's been co-opted in a way that lots of terms, by the way. Like, I think there are lots of terms that have been co-opted so successfully by the other side of things in bad faith ways that we should just stop using them. Like white privilege to me is like once a descriptive term that was useful, no longer, because it's just a conversation ender, because it connotes all of these things that people have campaigned on against. And so woke is that way. And the thing about John Oliver and Elon is that what makes me laugh the most is that what is most cutting, I think, to like the Elon simps is that John Oliver is just like, this guy isn't cool. The way that he described him in that piece was he looked like a more unfuckable version of Billy Zane's character in Titanic, which I think we can all appreciate.
I have a child.
Cody. What's on Pablo Torre Finds Out? Look, you mailed that one in, Chris. Like that's one of it's one of your signature phrases.
Because there was an F word said, and Billy tapped me, and I thought Billy was tapping me to do Billy Zane, but he was like F word, and then so right before I said I have a child, I like looked over, I was like F word, but Dan wants me to talk right now, so I have to do I have a child. Is that better?
Barely.
The joke might have been that Billy Zane in this version did not have a child because of his unbleepable aspect, but I digress.
I don't have a child.
We have less than a minute left. Why should people find Pablo Torre Finds Out?
Yeah, so today we have a sit-down interview with a guy that I've been obsessed with for a very long time, a guy whose name may ring a bell in your brain, and that guy is Smush Parker. And I've been thinking about Smush Parker because last Friday, there was this report that Shohei Ohtani was convinced to join the Dodgers because he got this posthumous message from the late, great Kobe Bryant. And it moved him, and it was the thing that closed the deal. And it's this mythology, I realized, about Kobe still, even more so now, in death than ever. And Smush Parker happens to be the one brave voice in NBA history, really, to have shared a backcourt with Kobe Bryant and said, quote, "It was overrated." And Kobe Bryant has basically made fun of Smush Parker. He had been making fun of him for years, called him the worst, basically did to Smush Parker what his name suggests. He got smushed. And so Smush Parker now, beyond having a whole life that I find fascinating, is doing something crazy in his last act. He is trying to become the 4th NBA player ever in retirement to become an NBA referee. And so he is a guy who contains multitudes. He comes clean on all of the stuff about Kobe and beyond. He's at the Malice at the Palace. He was bringing up the ball at Auburn Hills when that was happening. He's like this Forrest Gump character, but he says things with a truth-telling aspect that you just don't hear elsewhere because he is like from the underclass. He is, metaphorically speaking, the guy next to Greg Cody under the bridge in the annals of NBA history. And he says things that the people above never want to hear, and he actually says them. So please listen.
Kobe treated Smush very poorly. Thank you, Pablo. We will talk to you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, it's Mike, and I want to motivate you to make Miller Lite a part of your football watching experience. Here's the pitch. It's got only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you get the taste that you crave without the calories. And, football fans, I can assure you, from personal experience, there is no other light beer, not on this wonderful planet of ours, that goes with football quite like Miller Lite. Make football time Miller time. No matter what team you're rooting for, there is one thing we can all agree on. Miller Lite and football bring us all together. So, I want you to take my advice and make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Le Batard.
It's been a lovely cruise. Oh, man, that's my outro. That's, as my casket is being lowered.
Jesus.
I'll have been cremated a week before, but we'll do the casket thing just for show. And as my casket is being lowered.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Empty casket?
It'll
Closed?
be empty, just for show. We're gonna
what's the redundancy there?
We're going to put on a public display.
Yeah, naturally.
Stugotz.
What do you do with the ashes?
You're going on a lovely cruise.
Exactly. Maybe we'll throw them over. My wife will throw them overboard.
I would assume
she's necking with her new husband.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Stugotz, I am deeply, deeply uncomfortable right now. We've got the bare feet of Greg Cody around some wires, around some flames. I will tell you, Stugotz, and I think this is universal, a universal truth I'm about to express.
Okay.
That most of the men listening to this, Greg Cody included, always think they're younger than they actually are. Every single male listening to this does not think he is the age that he actually is. Greg Cody is one of the worst culprits when it comes to this stuff, so I'm afraid he's going to trip over a wire, break his hip, and then catch fire. Greg Cody, where are we in the proceedings? I'm getting a lot of tweets here saying among other things, why is he preparing turkey in what appears to be, well, for lack of a better word, a dungeon of some sort? And then Billy Gill, this is directed to you. Greg handled a raw turkey, touched the mic, and then handed it to you. Wash your hands or you will get salmonella.
I saw that. I Clorox wiped my phone and everything else, and I use a lot of hand sanitizer. So hopefully I'm okay.
You can't get salmonella from a turkey, different species.
Greg Cody, put it on the poll. Can you get salmonella from a turkey at Le Batard Show? Greg Cody, update us on
from a salmon.
Update us on where it is that we are, sir. How close are you to done?
Talk, Dad.
Greg Cody.
Greg!
Please, Greg.
I'm here. You guys are going in and out. I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you.
All right, just give us an update and get back down here, please, and don't catch fire. Just tell us where we are, pull it out, and get back down here.
It's very close to being done.
Wow.
We expect to pull it out for real in about less than 5 minutes, possibly 3 minutes, and then we'll be resting it, cutting it, bringing it downstairs, the whole bit.
Okay, and
so you're going to cut it in the garage?
No, we're going to cut it in the kitchen.
Okay.
Good.
In the eating area.
Good choice.
How are you feeling about how it looks? It looks crispy and it looks wonderful. How are you?
I feel great. It looks wonderful, honestly. If it tastes as good as it looks, I'll be a happy man. It looks great. We had a little bit of a calamity with the oil. We've been working extra hard to keep it in the green zone where it should be. At about 340 to 350.
Alarm's going off. Time to take it out.
Right.
I'm real happy.
I'll tell you this, Dan.
It's not something to balance the phone
From my time up there with Greg off mic, he kept saying that it was trending a little high, the oil. So does Greg think that that's going to impact the bird at all? He can't hear.
No, he's doing a famous test where you see how if the wing is going to easily break off, you know it's done.
Yeah, the turkey tells me when it's done. You want the legs, you want the two legs to have a visual indication of breaking away from the body on their own. And I may be a minute or two away from that.
Wow.
All right, it's very close to being done.
This guy is an expert. The turkey talks to him.
Yes, we will wait for this payoff. We will linger around the dungeon. Billy, are there any more details from being up there that you can give us? It seemed a little Spartan up there and dungeoning.
It appears to be an active construction site, so if there's, some dust particles or whatever on the turkey that you get, don't be surprised because there's active construction going on right around the corner from where Greg is at the moment. He also looks like someone who has just kind of taken over that floor and maybe spends extra time there.
We will check in with Roy here shortly to find out
the snooze button
where he is. Greg, that is not a flat surface that you have placed your phone on. That seems
it's all he's got.
It's
Dan.
not a great place to put your phone. Can you give us, Greg? You'll cut in while I'm talking here and give us our payoff whenever it is that we're going to get our payoff. Greg, yes, please.
Yeah, we're about 2 minutes from lifting.
Okay.
All right.
We have liftoff in 2 minutes.
All right. In the meantime,
Exciting.
Stugotz did his waddle swagger today and told everyone who would listen 6-1 in bowl games. I'm 6-1 against the spread in bowl games. Had no business winning that Western Kentucky bet he made yesterday.
But I won it.
He was down, I think, 35-7 or 28-7.
Right.
And he did win it. Now give us all of the information that went into that bet that you have on Western Kentucky.
Well, the Hilltoppers, Dan, they don't get off to quick starts. They usually finish strong, and that's why I was banking on them to fall down 35-7 and come back late in the second half and, bring it home in overtime. That's what the Hilltoppers have been doing the entire year. They win close games, they win at the end, and they lead the nation in wins in overtime. How about that? And I got today, Dan. Oh, do I have a big one today? The Scooters Coffee Bowl. I believe it's Scooters. And I have the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Oh, plus 13.
I'm going to write that down.
You should have
seem to
6-1.
Red hot. Dan, did you watch the Famous Toastery Bowl yesterday?
I did not. What I saw was I was laughing when Old Dominion went up 6-7. Old Dominion when they went up 28-7.
Oh yeah, the Tops had a tough start. They were turning it over at the beginning of that game. It was a very sloppy top, but they did figure it out as the game went along. They brought in a true freshman quarterback, Cade Veldkamp.
Yep.
And as a Miami Hurricanes fan, I just go gaga over a 3-star quarterback who was also a white guy. So I fell in love. They have a lot of talent over there. And there's two different approaches to the game, Dan. The Old Dominion coach said, hey, if you're entering the transfer portal, if you want to get out of here, you're not playing in this bowl game. Whereas Western Kentucky's head coach is, I don't care if you're leaving. You want to play in this bowl game? Put on some pads and let's get her done. And it was amazing to see Western Kentucky show so much resilience. And in the end of that game, I flipped over to ESPN Plus to watch a bunch of kids do snow angels on top of toast that was stale. They loved this. This really meant something to them, and it made me fall in love with bowl games all over again.
Amazing to you, but not amazing if you've been watching the Hilltoppers all season. I'm telling you, they get down big in the first half. They always come back. That was a quick hook for Turner Helton.
They don't always come back. They lost like 5 or 6 times.
Well, 5 times they didn't come back. You're right.
They also have an NFL receiver that came out to play 3 plays on the drive and then decided, that's enough of that. I'm going to the NFL. I'll take my pads off here.
Anything else from the Toastery Bowl worth mentioning of any kind?
I'm getting word right now that, yes, the turkey is ready.
All right, let's go. Let's go to breaking news. Let's do this. Let's get the
there you go. Touch the headphones right before you touch the
headphone.
turkey.
Drop the hanger. You drop the hanger that is used to pull the turkey out. Yes, it's on the floor. Now he's bending over where the flames are.
The hanger does not touch anything. Don't worry about that.
Well, it touches the turkey.
We're about to have liftoff.
It's touching the turkey now.
Guys, lift off.
Why are you using the mitt on the microphone?
Your mitt is on the wrong hand, Greg.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
You'll
it's
find
exactly
out why.
Where it should be, Dan.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that bird.
I'm draining right now.
Is anyone helping you?
Draining it.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful brown and orange hue. Incredible. A festive bird.
Where are you going to put it? Are you going to drop
it? Carry it?
Just put it on the floor.
Oh, no. Okay.
He's got a pan.
Okay.
Stugotz, you're surprised that we don't trust him? You're surprised?
No, but I'm telling you, when it comes to this, I've never seen him more confident, more organized. Like, he's a different person around a fried bird.
Look at how close his foot is to the fire. He's not paying attention to all the things that need to be paid attention to.
Greg, how satisfied are we with this bird?
It looks great, Mike. If it tastes as good as it looks, I'll be a very happy guy. It looks terrific. I'm about to tent it with foil before I carry it downstairs.
Let it rest.
It's got to, like any other meat, it's got to rest for about 15 minutes.
His crotch is right over the propane.
I don't want to ignore what Billy said. Righty-tighty on the propane tank. Let's just go righty-tighty.
You are straddling the propane tank. Everything you're doing looks... I thought those were flames climbing and not aluminum just being pulled out of the wrapper. All right, we will see that when it comes down, and we will check in with Roy.
Leave the tank on.
Turn the tank off, Greg. Turn everything
got it,
off.
guys.
I'm about to, Dan.
Yes, he's got it.
I'm about to. I can't do everything at once.
Yep.
I'm doing the best I can.
The bird comes first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm simply
horrific.
trying to make sure he doesn't explode. That's all I'm trying to do.
Pleasure watching that old man turk off.
Where's Roy?
We're going to catch up with him. He's almost done turking off.
Yes, we will catch up with him in just a second. I just basically all I want to do is make sure that we get out of this situation with video of him alive.
Look at, there's a lot of oil stains on that backsplash, which is also a concrete garage. A lot of oil.
Oh, no. See, this is what I'm worried about. This is exactly what I'm worried about.
That's why we told him to turn it off.
The apron only got a little bit caught on the propane.
That's exactly what I'm scared of.
He's okay. He turned it off.
Man, he crushed this, though.
Yeah.
This is great.
Well, we'll see.
I fully expect Roy's hotel room to be covered in flames, just fully engulfed.
Again, I'd simply like to revisit what I believe to be something that is outside the realm of my comprehension, which is Roy claiming with a straight face that he did not have time for the turk-off to get exactly the turkey that he wanted to be preparing so that he can make excuses on the front end of why he's going to lose this turk-off, because I believe he is going to lose. And he's going to blame it on a series of preparation techniques, all of which were under his complete control.
I mean, man, when it comes to birds, though, it is peak season. Could be a supply chain issue.
He didn't go to the butcher and said
we found out yesterday
that he only had a week when he had more than a week. I mean, he's claiming it's a week. It was more than a week ago that we started the planning for the turk-off. And Greg Cody, who never has a back in my day, is wildly unprepared for all things that we do professionally. Greg Cody just crushed it. Yep. Greg Cody's got no excuses. He did that expertly. He did not set fire to
bring
anything.
all his own shit.
He did not. We were afraid he was going to try and do it in this room, and we were afraid that would be something that would make all of us catch fire. And so he did it on the 11th floor under construction, and he succeeded. Right? None of us doubt that will be a great tasting bird.
It was like Jalen Hurts traveling, not with the team. Yeah. Like we can't all die. So if something bad's going to happen, go away from us.
It's got to be televised upstairs. If we have the viral calamity of an old man catches fire, which was at risk there. In fact, it seemed more dangerous than the pepper. I don't know that we vetted. I don't know that we vetted any of that
Just
properly.
giving him a microphone.
All of it.
Laying a phone on like a cylinder.
There were so many things that gave me
mid
anxiety
hand on the microphone.
with that shot, the bare feet, the phone,
the oven mitt on the mic,
on the penis-shaped pillar. It was just an obstacle course of triggers.
You do realize, right? Like if he had caught fire in a live calamity that went viral on the internet, all of us would have been, in retrospect, well, yeah, of course, of course, that's what happened when we tried
just
that.
A week's notice.
Don Le Batard.
If you lob a 30-mile-an-hour fastball to a major leaguer, of course they're going to hit a home run. The worst major leaguer in baseball is going to hit 10 or 12 home runs under that format, being pitched that way.
So they should be throwing curveballs?
No.
Like, what's your solution here?
It's a fake event. It's like not even real.
Stugotz.
Dad, you had a funeral.
Okay. Those were my deck shoes of long standing. They
Real
meant
event,
something
though.
to me.
Real shoes.
Okay,
right, exactly.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I am with you, Greg. What's wrong with that?
He got me on that one.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I have in front of me the best-selling book done by Greg Cody and Ron Magill, The Pride of a Lion. You can get it now. Many of you have already pre-ordered it, but it is a legitimate bestseller in a number of different categories, thanks to our audience, which obviously supports Ron Magill, one of the more popular people we've ever had around here, and Greg Cody, also popular. Roy, less popular. Roy is in the kitchen now, and we didn't get the payoff of Roy pulling the turkey out of the oven. We spent a lot of money to have him up there with cameras and whatnot. Now he's in the eating area with Greg Cody. We got no dramatic payoff.
We also never saw him put in the turkey. We never saw him with a turkey at any point.
No.
The only turkey reference is he couldn't go to his butcher, and it's not his turkey. So we don't know that Roy actually cooked anything.
That's correct. Roy, terrible at television and not helpful in this regard at all. So far, tailing the Turk off, is going to lose.
But gave us a turkey to Turk off with.
That's right.
For that, we're grateful.
But that we haven't seen yet.
Right.
No, I guess there's an air of mystery around it now.
But you say he's going to lose. It all gets down to the taste. It doesn't matter what you do before. It matters how the turkey
so far,
tastes.
he's losing.
I half hope it's a ham.
no doubt.
I want it to be a ham.
We will see what Roy has produced in a moment. We've got Ron Magill here as well. Greg Cody, what are your thoughts very quickly before we go to Ron Magill? What are your thoughts on how poorly everything has happened here from a televised event standpoint with Roy Bellamy? You've really kicked his ass so far.
Well, we overcame the calamities to produce what I hope is a good bird to eat. So it's all good.
Have you
Thanks
seen
for nothing.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad I went to you. Okay, let's pull out of that and let's just do Ron Magill. I'm glad you guys were ready with the proper energy there to do a televised thing. Excellent work as always.
Dan, you mentioned the Pride of the Lion, and we have a giveaway for the Pride of a Lion beginning today, December 19th through next Tuesday, December 26th. When you purchase a copy of The Pride of a Lion on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, leave your honest review of the book, and you'll automatically be entered for your shot to win a holiday gift basket from Mango Publishing. No gag reviews, I'm being told. Just honest reviews only, and you must actually be able to verify your purchase. Winner will be notified next Wednesday.
Ron Magill, the last time I saw him, was genuinely despondent. I don't believe I've ever seen him quite so sad. Your Cesta Cyclones lost an ability to get $50,000 for your substantive endowment on Friday. You were crushed. You were crushed, and you looked at, were you a misery to be driving home with your wife, lovely wife, Rita, who had plenty to drink?
No. Yeah, she did have plenty to drink. She was happy. Well, you were drinking too there, Dan. I saw you with a bottle of tequila.
That's right.
Anyway, the bottom line is the bottom line is it was just it was kind of $50,000 is a lot of money. What that could have done for conservation is incredible. At the end of the day, the guys played really hard. They're a great group of guys. I mean, Carballo, Manu, Bueno. These are great guys. They really took it to the end. They're in the finals. They made it to the Super Bowl. A lot of other teams can't say that. So I've got to be very proud of what they did getting to the point that they got into. But, at the end of the day, you got Udonis Haslem. You got all these guys that look like a bunch of Adonises out there. They won. They all ripped off their shirts like they're in freaking doing, whatever, that Magic Mike stuff. And,
Yeah, there was shirtlessness. Ray Lewis and Udonis Haslem were celebrating their victory. And I was proud. For years, we've been trying to keep High alive. We did it at Dania. This is the only place where they're still playing High in the United States. And that crowd was big and energetic. That was not a small crowd.
No, it was packed, standing room only. It was packed, people screaming, people getting very happy. I mean, when you have UD take off his shirt and slide on the champagne along the highlight court like he's, doing a dance, I guess it's a big thing.
Ron, I want to bring in Lucy here to tell you what it is that she did with a dog this weekend. It was very kind what she did. We made her feel bad about it. And there was a plot twist at the end when she returned the dog. So, Lucy, tell Ron what you did.
Ron, I need your support here because everyone has been very mean to me about me participating in the Paw Venture program with the Miami-Dade shelter. So on Friday, I took a dog out of the shelter for the day, and we went on walks, and we went to the park, and we just had a fun little day together. And then once the day was over, I went and turned her back to the shelter because I am not in a space where I can have a dog. For our YouTube audience, she is on the screen right now. Her name is Dolly. She was the best dog, and I really thought that I was doing a bad thing because of how mean everyone here was to me. So when I was dropping her off, I started crying because I felt so bad. But then when we got back to the shelter, she ran away from me and wanted nothing to do with me. So can you please tell me that I didn't do anything wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right. You fostered that dog. You gave that dog an afternoon of happiness away from the shelter. I mean, at the end, she was happy to go back. Dogs are very social animals. So all the other dogs in the social group there, she's back with her family, so to speak. But that afternoon off was, it was like a snow day, so to speak, where you're away from school, you're having fun, you gave her a lot of love, you did the right thing. You should be very proud of yourself, and the rest of you guys should be ashamed of yourself for making her feel bad.
Thank you. You should all feel bad.
What is the most social of the animals, Ron?
Dogs are very social. I mean, dogs are incredibly social, more so than cats, of course. But, if you're thinking domestic-wise, you got to think dogs. I mean, wild-wise, got to think of animals like meerkats, very, very social, very structured. The painted dogs, the wild dogs of Africa, very social. Lions, of course, the pride of a lion will tell you how social they are, how family bonded they can be. So there's a lot of social animals. Birds can be very social depending on what species they are. So social animals are not uncommon.
Ron, when you rent a dog, though, aren't you providing that dog with false hope?
You're not renting a dog.
She rented a dog for a day. It's rent a dog.
Rent a dog. She fostered a dog. There's a difference.
Okay, when you foster a dog for a day, are you not giving the dog false hope?
No, you're giving the dog a great time. When you bring your family to Disney World for a day, are you giving them false hope that they're going to be at Disney World every day? No.
Well, I'm going to be with them later, though.
Right.
I'm going to be with them when we get home.
Right. I'm not dropping them off at the end of the day. I mean, there are days where I wish I could, but I'm not.
With their friends. It's like they went on a field trip. When your kid goes on a field trip at school, do they expect to be the field trip? No, they come home back to their family of their kids. And that's what's happening. That dog got back, and that's why Lucy said it ran away, because it ran to see its friends. Let me tell you about the great day I had with my foster parent, who was very nice and very thoughtful to do that for me, as opposed to you guys that were probably watching a football game and drinking.
Not as much as your wife, though.
I own a dog.
I would say of Stugotz, one of the things that I'm enjoying about this is he really does have the dog doing the process of how one fosters, which is, if this person takes me out for 6 hours, this is my forever friend, correct? Like you have the dog understanding how the fostering application process works, and then having hope, wait a minute, this is my big chance to have a different life, as opposed to I go back to the facility at 6 p.m. and that's when they give me the bits, the kibble and bits, right? Which is the only reason the dog was running back in that way.
Totally fair.
It wasn't running in that way to be back with its friends. It was time to eat and be back where it is that it's normal, instead of with that weird lady who took me all over.
Weird
why
lady.
You have to be like that? That's not right, Dan. That's not right. You should really be complimenting her. You should be elevating her on all your social media platforms about the heart that the people on the Dan Le Batard and Stugotz show have. That's what you should be doing.
I do want to get behind this, and I want to do more of it to help dogs in Miami. There are plenty of them that need the help, but I want to go first here to show you some photos of Steven Seagal.
They need help forever, not just for a day.
That's correct,
right,
but a day is better than nothing, and Lucy gave the dog that. But I wanted to show you Steven Seagal in Dubai at a zoo, frolicking with a lot of animals, and he is wearing right there the outfit that I like to call my pandemic wear, where it's just you've gained a lot of weight and you're just putting some sort of bed sheet on you because it is comfortable. Ron, what do you make of these photos here of Steven Seagal playing tug of war with the animals, with a lion, and fooling around feeding a bottle to a tiger of some sort?
His hair looks great.
And, it's just a very bad message, so to speak. I mean, these people look at this and go, oh, yeah, I want to play with a lion. I want to do this with a lion. Him, Mr. Macho, Steven Seagal. I'm in here with the big cats. I'm fearless. I'm going to do tug of war with the big cat. I'm going to give it a little bottle because I'm the dominant one here. Listen, this is a guy who's got a little bit of a complex. He's gained some weight and he's trying to get some relevance in, when I've been done with my career type of mode.
I don't think that
seem to know him well.
I don't think both of us had to take him out there as gaining weight. I at least filed it under I did the same thing during the pandemic and then just put a series of curtains and drapes on myself.
I will say, Dan, you are looking very, very fit. When you walked in the highlight, I just went, whoa, what happened to Dan? He's been working out.
Are all of you wearing sweatpants now? Did you guys all break out the sweatpants because it's 50 degrees here and you don't know what fits and you need something a little bit elastic around the waist?
Jeans, regrettably for me.
Yep, jeans for me.
Too snug?
Me too.
Yeah. The least favorite game. Well, second least favorite game behind does this suit still fit? Do these jeans still fit?
Let's show Ron another photo here. Ron, tell me, I'm told that this is one of 8. There are only 8 in the world. The white alligator. The white alligator in the world. This is at the Orlando Zoo. It seems like a baby. Does that mean that this was just born? That a white alligator was just born?
That hatched out. It just hatched out. It's a genetic mutation. It's called a leucistic alligator. It's not an albino because there are more albino alligators. Albino the eyes would be pink. Okay, leucistic means that it retains some pigment in the eye, but the rest of the body is white. And it's just a very rare genetic mutation. And I don't know if there's only 8 in the world, but I know there's only a handful. There's certainly not a lot of them. There were some very famous ones that were at the Audubon Zoo for a long time. We had one here at Zoo Miami years ago that was kind of on a tour, a traveling tour to zoos around the country. It looks like white chocolate. They look like they're made out of white chocolate when you look at them.
What is the rarest animal you have ever seen in the wild? There was a Jason Williams there for you, Stugotz.
The rarest animal.
Window closed.
Is it a snow leopard or something else?
I've never seen a snow leopard in the wild. It's one of my dreams to see one in the wild. The rarest animal, it's going to sound anticlimactic to you. It's called the Panamanian golden frog. They are now believed to be extinct in the wild. I spent days going up and down a mountain in monsoon rain trying to find one to photograph it. I finally found one and I photographed it. And it's a beautiful little frog, but it's just a frog. It's not like a snow leopard.
Is it your proudest photograph? Do you have a photograph that you waited the longest for that you regard as your greatest feat of persistence?
I don't know if I have a greatest photograph of greatest. My favorite photograph of all is, there's the Panamanian golden frog. Look at that. My famous favorite photograph of all is actually a photograph in the book Pride of a Lion. It's the photograph when Kashifa goes to comfort Quasi after Quasi almost got killed by his stepdad.
Spoiler alert.
That photograph is just, to me, is my favorite photo of the over 1 million photographs that I've taken. That photograph, when I took it, I remember it brought me to tears.
He is an exceptional photographer. How often has that happened? Give me a number, Ron. Number of times you've taken a photograph that brought you to tears.
Less than 5.
Yeah, I imagine. And he's an exceptional photographer. The Pride of a Lion, as I mentioned, it has been very popular. Thank you to our listeners for supporting it. Get it wherever it is you get books. And I remind you, this holiday season is an excellent time to donate to Ron Magill, who spends his time every week here. He does not get paid for any of this. You pay him with support. You pay him by supporting his substantive endowment, which he uses to buy new Cadillacs and better clothes. Ron, thank you, sir. Good talking to you.
And booze for his wife.
And booze for his boozy wife, Rita, who's a lot more fun than he is.
You guys, man. Merry Christmas to all you guys.
See you later, Ron. Good talking to you.
Always a pleasure.
Can't spell Margarita without the Rita.
Hey, it's Mike, and I want to motivate you to make Miller Lite a part of your football watching experience. Here's the pitch. It's got only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you get the taste that you crave without the calories. And, football fans, I can assure you, from personal experience, there is no other light beer, not on this wonderful planet of ours, that goes with football quite like Miller Lite. Make football time Miller time. No matter what team you're rooting for, there is one thing we can all agree on. Miller Lite and football bring us all together. So, I want you to take my advice and make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.